What's up out there? How you doing, Jeff D? With the Talent Opportunity Connector Talent Tip of the Week. So you just got promoted. You've done many years. You're either an entrepreneur, an accountant, or you're in marketing. And guess what? Your company just promoted you to become a leader, a manager of people. And you're thinking to yourself, what do you do next? Now, personally, in my previous career in technology, same thing happened. I was an individual contributor for many years, and then halfway through my Staples career, I was asked to lead an organization, a team. And, it was an interesting transition from being that hands-on the individual contributor to helping to, promote and lead other people to be successful. So let's get right into it. One of the reasons, being a manager is a very tough job because you're relying on others. Before you were an individual contributor, you kind of handled your own domain. But what happens, what's one of the biggest reasons a new manager benefits from having a mentor? You're going to learn faster. Without a mentor, learning comes from trial and error, and you do not want to do that in a professional environment. With a mentor, you'll gain years of experience in a fraction of time, and you'll have less mistakes. You'll have a safe place to ask questions. There's a lot of confident there. If you have a private mentor, you're going to have a safe place to really, even if you mess up, be able to talk to them. Are you handling an employee correctly? If you have a tough employee situation, or you have to have, how can I have a difficult conversation? As new managers, we all have to done that. I personally had to hire, fire people, lay people off. Those are difficult conversations. And how do you motivate someone that's not engaged? That's a constant thing. As a new leader, you constantly have to motivate your employees to do well. And then another reason you want to have a mentor is it helps you avoid common leadership mistakes. You don't want to do everything yourself. That's a big thing. Going from doing everything yourself to now relying on others. You don't want to micromanage. You want to be able to give your team space. And you want, a biggest thing too as a leader, you want everyone, and I went through this myself, you want to make sure everyone likes you. You don't have to be liked. You're doing a job. You're leading an organization. You're going to have tough conversations, and then of course you got to delegate. That's a leadership mistake, a big one, a big transition. And then as a leader versus when you're an individual contributor, you're going to have to develop some emotional intelligence. You got to listen more. You got to be empathetic. People go through things. You got to manage conflict. Hopefully you never have a team that ends up conflicting with each other. You have to constantly be a person that reads personalities. Now, as I transitioned from being a leader in corporate to a recruiter, that's one of the things I really look for in folks, especially if it's a leadership role. What's their personality like? How do they handle conflict? Are they empathetic? Do they listen? Are they trustworthy? Now, if you have a mentor, you're actually going to gain confidence. The growth takes time. You're going to make mistakes. I always say 3 to 5 years in a management role, you start getting into a routine there. No one has all the answers. Even a leader with 27 years experience makes mistakes, but they probably have a mentor that kind of right the ship for them. And then this is a great thing, which I love, as becoming a leader, is becoming a better coach. You're not supervising people. This is not like the front line of McDonald's. You're developing your team. I always say leaders develop leaders. Because you're giving them meaningful feedback, you're recognizing their strengths, you're helping them grow and giving them accountability. And then this is the real tough one about being a leader, politics. How decisions really get made. I would say, this is another thing I would say, it's who you know, not what you know. How do you influence key initiatives? How do you build credibility? It's unfortunately a political thing. When to push and when to wait. You don't want to push too many buttons too fast because then you piss people off. This is some of the stuff that you would learn as being a mentor. And then this is the rewarding part. And I felt this after being a leader from like 10 years onwards. You build a long-term leadership mindset. You think about your career. Where do you want your career to go? And likewise, where the career, the people that are mentoring you, they're going to help you get there, right? They've been there, done that. What kind of leader do you want to become, right? And how do you develop your team? And of course, the return on investment for the new manager, you're going to get, getting a mentor. You're going to develop faster. You're going to have better decision making. It's going to be less stressful. And then for the company that you work for, the employee engagement's going to go up. You're going to have better retention, stronger teams. So think about this, even as an executive in your company, developing your team. When you do have new managers, really, it makes sense, and it's important for the time to be able to assign a mentor. It could be somebody on the executive team or on the board of directors that's been there, done that, and it's going to really help your organization grow and your team grow. Hope this helps, and if you need any help with this, by all means, reach out to me. If you're a hiring manager for the first time and you're trying to shape your organization, reach out to me because I will help you out. All right, have a good day. Jeff D., the Talent Opportunity Connector.